Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to flip through an older sketchbook of mine. It spans work from mid-2018 through early 2021, so if you followed me on Instagram during that period, you might have seen me post about it then. The sketchbook was designed by an artist whose handle is Birdstonshire, and I bought it because I think the cover design is absolutely gorgeous. That being said, I actually did not love working in this sketchbook. The pages are fairly thick, so I thought I could try gouache or Copic marker on them, but definitely found issues with both. When I tried to switch back to pencil, I found that the surface was smooth and kind of reflective, which made it hard for me to draw since I usually had a desk lamp turned on when drawing. I've used smoother sketchbooks like this in the past and didn't have any issues with those, so I'm not really sure why I struggled so much with this one. But because of the dissatisfaction with working in it, plus being generally art blocked back then, it took me quite a long time to finish this sketchbook. Anyway, let's begin the tour. So here on the inside cover, we have a sticker from, I think it's Carmico. I got it when I bought her Starry purse, and then so I decided to stick it in here. This is one of the stickers on the packaging on the washi tape that I have. I decided to put that in there because it's my washi tape and this is my sketchbook, so now my name's on it. And this is a signature from this artist. So I had purchased this, I think I got it online from her shop, but then I saw her at a convention, so I brought the sketchbook and just asked her to sign it. Yes, so here I skipped the first page. Usually I'm pretty good about just hopping in without skipping the first page, but I guess I got a little bit nervous for this sketchbook just because it's such a pretty cover. I didn't want to mess up the first page, so never went back and finished it, and I think it's just gonna stay that way. So the real first drawing is, I think this is a picture of Constance Wu. Since I got this sketchbook in like 2018-ish, it was around the time when Crazy Rich Asians had come out, so I was like, we have to draw her. And I generally like to start with a drawing that I know I'll be happy with, so usually something like realism is easier for me to do than like an anime sketch on the first page because I'm using a reference, and so I think I can get it to look right. And then this section, I knew that, so it was around October at the time, which means Inktober, and I didn't want to do, was it a year that I wanted to do something intense? I don't remember, but the overall idea I had was drawing Sailor Moon characters in kind of more casual outfits, so that's what like the next several spreads are. This one I drew with pencil first and then I inked it, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I just actually skipped her for one of them. So I think I had sketched out multiple and then went back and colored them, so this was supposed to be number 1, but this one is number 2 immediately. Yeah, and then I come back here and here's Inktober number 1. So we had to start off with Sailor Moon, the OG girl, and it looks like a watercolor wash on the back, but I actually used gouache. So this was back in the time when I was still trying to figure out how to use gouache and like get more comfortable layering thickly. And as you can see, the paper kind of buckles a bit, so that was part of the reason I didn't want to try layering on too thick. And that was one of the reasons that I didn't end up really liking the sketchbook, because it is thicker paper and it's probably not designed for wet media, but at that time I did want to practice more with wet media, so this is what I had to work with. Yeah, I think some of the outfits were inspired by Pinterest outfits and others were inspired by maybe outfits they had in the show, and I'm pretty sure most of the poses I at least pulled from Pinterest. So Usagi really likes sweets, so here we have her with a lollipop and little like candy motifs around. And then after that we did Sailor Mercury. Yeah, nothing much to say about her. She likes reading and she's smart and whatnot, so. Here we have Sailor Mars in one of her iconic outfits from the show. If you've never watched Sailor Moon, they actually change casual outfits pretty often. Like, they have their, transformed Sailor Scout outfits, but it's nice that day to day they don't always wear the same thing. So this was my favorite outfit of hers. I think this pose is actually just based on a screenshot of Sailor Mars. If you look up Sailor Mars pink overalls, I'm sure you'll find the exact reference. Here we have Sailor Jupiter in a more, like, punkish streetwear type outfit. I added some roses because she usually has her rose earrings and just figured that'd be a nice way to tie it together. This one was a sketch for Venus, and I started it and somehow didn't end up liking it, so I think I revisit it later. We'll check back later. Here we have Chibiusa. I decided to draw her with her Black Lady outfit, which is kind of like scaling it down to her age, really. The Black Lady outfit's just one of the best outfits, I feel like, in Sailor Moon overall. Yeah, and this is another Pinterest pose. This one is, so yeah, from here on, I reached the point in Inktober that most artists reach, which is they can no longer keep up with it, and so there's just a lot of sketches with some ink over it. And this one is Sailor Pluto, just looking pensive, whatnot. Here we have Sailor Uranus. She tends to like dress more mask in general, so I just gave her a slightly more gender neutral outfit. Here's Neptune. I think I found, yeah, a picture of this woman with a really pretty, like, elegant looking dress, and I figured that was kind of perfect for her. We have Sailor Saturn. I don't know if this pose doesn't super make sense with her character, but I was like, we just need to get some drawing done, so here we are. Yep, here's Venus. So yeah, I think I started off by sketching out a bunch of them because I had found poses that I liked, and I was like, all right, we're just gonna pre-sketch them out so I don't have as much work to do later on. So that's why Venus came all the way over here when day 5 was back here several pages ago. But this felt more like her character, just the way she's just kind of crazy and does whatever she wants. So the heart glasses and just the I don't really care kind of look. She's my favorite out of the Sailor Scouts. And here we have, I think I was just experimenting with more witchy aesthetics, so just like a witchy girl brewing something. Oh yeah, these were done when I went to Chicago with some friends, so we were in the museum, the art museum there, and at one point we were walking around and then got to the cafe area and just sat down to relax. So I tried to draw the like counter area of the cafe. So in the back you have the menu, the little coffee machinery stuff, the cash register, and whatever's in the front display. So I just sketched that out real quick. And then on this side, my friend was like on his phone, so I just drew his hand, as well as like whatever cups of water and stuff were on the table with us. Here I get back into what my sketchbooks usually looked like at this time, which was more so just kind of drawing busts, like anime faces. So usually my sketchbooks were a place for me to just kind of doodle and like not think about anything, so that's why a lot of these drawings are just kind of crappy. It's just whatever my hand needed to move around doing something, and that's what we went with. So I'm not really sure what these ones were inspired by, but I know this is Brigitte from Overwatch, and then here's Ash. I actually kind of like how this Ash turned out, and kind of like how this Brigitte turned out. Oh, and then at this point I think I had bought colored lead or something, so some of the sketches you'll see will be red and blue. Yeah, here's another drawing of Brigitte. I actually like how this one turned out. This one I was using one of the reference photos that was around at that time. And then here, oh, this might have been around when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, so here's probably Ventus because of this thing. I never remember between Roxas and Ventus. I'm pretty sure it's just the outfits that are different. You can tell me if I'm wrong about that. Here we have pictures of Red Velvet. I don't remember if they had released something around then. These might have been based on whatever release they had the previous October-ish era. So like Really Bad Boy might have been the one at that time. So we have Selgi, Wendy, Irene, Yuri, and Joy. I don't love how these turned out, but they were fun to do at the time. Here we have Moongil. I think it was sometime after, so this outfit I'm pretty sure is from Selfish. I don't remember exactly when that came out. Like, I don't think I listened to it exactly when it came out, so I just felt like drawing it at this time. And I colored it in with Posca because I bought a bunch, like, the winter right before it, as well as, like, during the Chicago trip. Like, bought a handful of Poscas, so wanted to experiment with that more. Here, I was revisiting an old D&D character that I made one time that I haven't gotten a chance to play her yet, but whenever I had drawn her, I think it was back in, I don't even remember now, probably like 2013 or something, but I decided to try revisiting her character. I didn't really like this one, so I tried again here, and this one is closer to whatever I had originally envisioned on my, like, the little square in the character sheet from back when I first made her. Here we have a few Octopath characters and then some random person. So it's Primrose and I think Honnet, but she looks kind of like Elsa because her hair is the similar, like, messy up top and then braid at the bottom, so she looks like Elsa. Here we have more random anime faces. I think, yeah, for the longest time I just could not figure out how to draw guys, and this is proof that it was a struggle the entire time. Here, I decided to start doing the 100 heads challenge, and looking at it now, I remember thinking they were pretty good back then, but I think I could do it better now, so I kind of want to revisit this challenge. So here's the first 5 heads. I think I just tried to do 5 on a page because it seemed like a good number. Yeah, this section of my sketchbook I really like just because it's very filled out, and this is generally how I like to just fill them out. Let me see, actually. Yeah, for whatever reason, I tend to start in the bottom left corner and kind of work my way this way. So yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the order that I drew them in. Yeah, 6 was like here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I feel like a lot of people will just start top left corner and go down, like if you're writing a paper or something, but in my sketchbooks it tends to be bottom left to like circle back around. Here's the next set of faces. This was really good just to practice different face shapes, different angles, different like lighting areas. So these ones didn't turn out great, but some of the later ones I think actually turned out pretty good. More of these. This was a fun expression. This guy's face like looks really long, I feel like. Some more here. Oh, and then back to, I think I needed a break from this because I didn't do it all in one sitting or like all in one go. It was probably like 5 to 10-ish were one sitting, and then I would do something else. So here's another 5, and then suddenly we have more anime. So we have KDA stuff, so Ari and Akali, and then Naruto randomly. I don't know why I drew Naruto. Maybe because I was messing around with the different colored LEDs, and one of them was orange, and I was like, alright, who's orange? Naruto's orange. Something about the orange and blue is just, that's Naruto. Back to 100 heads. I think this one's Jimin, and he's just randomly in that pack, which I think is kind of interesting. Yeah, so these ones were actually pretty fun, where some of them were based off of little statues. I think, like, the reference photo was, like, a statue of one of these people. And those ones are fun because there's a lot more just, like, stuff going on in the face. So, for example, there's more wrinkles, like, the noses are stronger, there's beards and whatnot. Yeah, like forehead wrinkles. So I didn't really draw this type of face before, and just being able to draw that in this challenge was a good change of pace, because yeah, usually I'll draw people who are more smoother, younger type like this. So it was good practice, like working on this type of face. Yeah, more 100 heads. this person was probably also a statue, like one of those Greek statues. Sometimes, yeah, I guess when there's nothing in the eyes, because that's how statues look. Yeah, more mustache or just thicker faced, like more masculine, intense faces. I don't really know how to describe it. Basically the opposite of like smooth, young. Yeah, maybe then I lost my ability to draw smooth, young, because his face looks really weird. More 100 heads. This one was interesting too. I think this was based on like a little statue or like a 3D model of some character that someone designed for probably just like practice or something, but it was also good practice to draw. We have some more like orc looking people. This guy looks like Dumbledore or something. And then, oh yeah, this was as far as I got. So what did we make it up to? These were in the 70s, so I made it like 74-ish. If I try this again, I'm gonna try to make it to 100. But yeah, it was nice that like towards the end you could see that even just drawing these random faces for however long I did this for, probably like a couple weeks, I definitely got better. Like the faces at the beginning are kind of more wonky than some of the faces back here, so it just takes practice. It really just takes practice. Okay, this one's really faint because one, this blue is faint, and two, there's like Copic marker on the back, but this was when I was watching One Piece, or I was reading One Piece, and I got to Whole Cake Island. So these ones are Sanji's siblings. I wanted to make a charm set, so that's what these are. These are the preliminary sketches for the poses that I wanted for those charms. And then here I just wanted to do more face practice, so I just picked some K-pop people. These two are Moonbyul, and this one is, I can't remember her name, from Idol. It'll come back to me, but it was in the Señorita video, I think. Like Uki, I think that's her, yeah, like Uki. But this one, I actually, for some reason, really liked how it turned out, with just like the half coloring. Yeah, because I think I painted her first, and then I went to try these two, and did not really like how these turned out. So her I just did with a light layer of, I don't remember if I used gouache or watercolor, but I like the way the whites looked. It just looked very glassy and glossy, which is super interesting to me. And then this one was Copic marker. So I liked the just gentleness that I got with it, but the problem with Copic marker is usually it bleeds through. So you have to make sure that whatever sketchbook you're using, you either don't care about what's on the back or it can handle just the layers of marker. And then this one, I tried gouache, but one, gouache skin tones are really hard for me still, and two, this paper doesn't love when you put gouache on it, so it just doesn't really blend well, or just, it sits on top in a weird way, and yeah, I don't love how it turned out. And it sucked because I actually really liked this sketch. I remember liking the sketch, but then I was like, am I gonna ruin it? And then I ruined it. I was like, alright, well, it's a sketchbook. Here we have more random doodles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was just really art blocked during this time, so yeah, I just don't like how any of these turned out. It's like you get one really good page and then nothing for a while. And I didn't date these ones as much for some reason. Like, I'm better about dating my sketchbooks now. Oh, I guess this one's dated. Yeah, March 31st, 2019. So I don't know when these were. It was kind of periods of like, oh, I feel inspired to draw, my art's turning out good, and then periods of art block. So yeah, this was definitely periods of art block. So we have Hwasa. I started something, don't know what that turned into. And I think this is Ween. And then we have Yoshi and another random doodle. So this was done with Posca marker, because I was like, maybe I was having trouble using pencil in this sketchbook overall, because it's hard to tell, but like it reflects in a weird way, and usually I have a lamp working when I'm drawing because it's like nighttime and stuff, especially I think around this time it was like winterish, so it got dark late, and so I'd be drawing with a pencil with a desk lamp and a pencil, and it would just like reflect weirdly, which made it hard to draw. Yeah, it just like kind of washes the color out a lot when it reflects. So I was trying to use different media, so that's why I started to pull out a pen to try to use pen drawings as well as Posca marker to see if other media would behave better in this sketchbook. Here we have more doodles. So there's Sansa. Game of Thrones was probably airing at that time. Azula. I don't know. I think this is Daisy and then maybe Boa Hancock. Yeah, the sketches were just a struggle at that time. Because usually if I can't get like the head or face right, I just like don't bother with anything else. Oh yeah, this I remember doing as a quick doodle in the airport one time. So this was around the time when Overwatch was having their anniversary event that year, and then this was one of the new skins that year, like Honeydew May. Overall I think it's a cute skin, but I don't like Honeydew or any melons, so it didn't excite me as much as it did for other people. Here we have Sakura, and then more Octopath Girls. Yeah, I guess I gave up on the colored pencil because it was just too much. And then I just went back to a regular pencil. Here, I might have been trying to revisit a witchy design that I either thought of a while back, or maybe this was a new one. I kind of like how this started, so maybe I'll revisit this character. Here we have Tifa. This was around when they announced Remake, and so I was like, I knew I'd have to draw her in some way. So it's just like a quick pencil sketch. Yeah, I think this is another Tifa. And then I was just inspired to draw other muscly women, so this is probably someone from Pinterest. Don't know who this is, but these were also preliminary sketches for a charm design that I ended up doing. It's like a little egg planet. The egg soap planet, if you will. Here we have more Posca doodles. Over here, yeah, it's just like a big blob of Posca. It's funny that sometimes like the pen will just start leaking and then a blob of paint will come out and you can actually just feel it because it's just like acrylic paint basically. I do like how these little goldfish guys turned out. I might try to revisit it later. Oh, I think I had also been experimenting with masking fluid a bit because it looks like I probably put some down, painted over it, and then like took it off. And also sometimes I just try to fix pens and it's kind of boring to just keep doing this, so I just kind of write whatever stream of colors or stream of thoughts comes out in whatever color I'm holding. Oh yeah, this whale guy, I did end up putting him on, I think both a button and a tote bag. More pen tests and doodles. Oh, and then this picture was based on a photo I took while I was in Taiwan. Probably earlier that winter or something. It was at a hotel in Sun Moon Lake, and it was like, we were just visiting the hotel, like we weren't staying at this one, but I think this was like a fountain or like endless pool type thing that just kind of like went off at this side, and then it overlooked the lake over there. Here we have Zoro in his Wano outfit. So back to attempting light layers of like gouache or watercolor washes. I kind of like how it turned out messy and whatnot. Here we have Moonbill again. I think this was another, I liked the sketch but ruined it with adding colors. So you know what, sometimes just leave your sketch. If you don't want to ruin it, don't. Or just try it because it's a sketchbook. I don't know. I'm still torn. Here we have Cloud. Yeah, boys were still hard for me to draw, so his face just looks really weird. I think this was Tanjiro, probably. I think Demon Slayer started to air and I was watching it and wanted to try to come up with some sort of fan art illustration, but didn't get much farther than this. This is based on, oh, my friend had commissioned me for some album artwork, and this was a concept that, like, he just kind of pitched some ideas to me, and so I was doodling out the character that he wanted on the album. Yes, and then we skip further ahead because there's no dates on here. We're back to October, so yeah, this is how long it took me to work on this sketchbook, or just sketchbooks in general, just 2 Inktober's in here. So this one, I can't, once again, I don't remember if I was trying to do like every other day or just go hard and do every day. I think this was a year where I was like, I'm not gonna do it, and then day one hit and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Even though I knew I was gonna have a busy month. So I wanted to revisit just a witchy concept, so I think I found a list of, they weren't necessarily witchy specific, but it was just a list of something, and I just tried to make like a witch off of each one. So I think this one was crystal, so she's got little crystal designs on it. And I knew I wanted to keep them messier, so I kept the pencil sketch underneath, inked it roughly, and then just slapped on some colors. So this one, it might have been like academic or something, so it looks like she's studying and whatnot. Now that I think about it, this hair reminds me of one of the characters in Fire Emblem Three Houses. I can't remember her name right now, like Annette or something maybe. But I do vaguely remember when that game came out, I started playing, like when I started playing it, I was like, why does this character feel familiar? And maybe it's because of this character. Whether or not they were intended to look the same, I don't remember, but maybe she is that girl. This one, I actually liked how this one turned out. I tried to revisit her in a future sketchbook, but didn't like how the future one turned out, but I'm actually quite happy with how this one turned out. Here we have a like plant-themed witch. I decided to ink with brown instead, and I like how it turned out actually. I've been trying to revisit her in a few of my more recent illustrations. Like there was one I did with this sunflower girl. It was like partially inspired by this chick. Here we have like an animal one or like an owl one, so she's got kind of like an owl-themed aesthetic going on. This one was supposed to be like a cat one, and I was thinking of like the Tokyo Mew Mew girl's outfit, like with her little off-shoulder cuff sleeve things, and then I just did not feel like finishing it. This one might have been like pick a villain, and I think I had been at Disney that week or something, so I decided to pick like a younger version of Ursula. I kind of like how this tentacle situation turned out. It was also fun just like coloring in the purple for her skin. It was actually the right shade of purple. Here we have like a potion maker witch, I guess. Don't love how she turned out. Oh yeah, and then this chick, I think she was also supposed to be kind of probably based on that one from back here a little bit. I keep wanting to, there's this one illustration that I started a little while ago with this chick in it, so maybe we'll come back to that. Yeah, I think this is going off of that again, just this sort of design with this type of collar and these like poofy sleeves. Maybe give her an apron, that type of thing. I think I want to draw some sort of witch who like works in a shop of some sort. Kind of like a cafe, but kind of just plant shop. We'll come back to it eventually. Here's more doodles. This is probably Tifa. Literally just because of this earring and then this shape and then this hair. Yeah, this was another concept for an album that same friend commissioned me to do. And some start of a sketch. I think I started this and then reworked it into this character. And this outfit might have been inspired by this chick once again. But yeah, this was another, I'm trying to layer on more gouache, but it's still quite watery and I don't love how it sits on this paper. Okay, so then now we skip to 2020. This might have been, I think, yeah, these were October. This was probably sometime like January or February 2020. And then we skip back to somewhere back in October. But yeah, I had like, during this time I had started a different sketchbook, so I was mostly working on that and then realized I had just a few pages left of this, so I came back to just try to finish it off. Here I was sketching with the colored pencil again, and I decided to color it in with Prismatic colors because I hadn't touched them in a while. And I kind of like how they look, but then I also, anytime I rework with colored pencils, I kind of remember why I don't like them. And it's just, you have to layer on a lot in order to get the colors to be as dense as you want, and then it gets dull, and then you gotta sharpen it, so the colors are just kind of fuzzy. Okay, here we have Howl. This one is, what is their name? Like Mimi, I think from Heaven's Official Blessing. I have Symmetra, not sure. Oh yeah, this was like revisiting this plant witch girl. So here we have her. Yeah, my style has changed a bit, even just in this time. This might have been based on some Pinterest picture. Here we have more just quick sketches of things. So this might have been inspired by like Shilian's like flower crown prince pose. We got the sword and like the hair going on there. Not sure what this is. Oh, here we have Ashitaka for some reason. Maybe I rewatched that movie? I don't remember. These were based on some photos of people I knew. I think a lot of them are also just Pinterest poses generally. But I actually kind of like how quick and like simple these are. Just trying to capture like the basic like action, I guess, of a given pose. Yeah, here, this is around when they announced KDA All Out, so I drew Akali and Ari, and then Mamamoo was having a comeback, so here's Moonbyul and I think Lee. Or was it they were having a comeback? Or maybe I just found pictures from Hip. I don't really remember. Ah yes, and here I was trying to draw peonies, because I realized that I'm just really bad at flowers, so I found some YouTube tutorials and whatnot, and one of them was like, yeah, start with these ball shapes and then have the petals flow outwards. So that was very helpful in helping me figure out what exactly was going on. So yeah, generally more peony practice. The nice thing about flowers is that you can just make the lines kind of messy, and as long as the general shape is there, it looks fine. So up close, I don't really love this one. I actually quite like this one. This one just has too much happening in it, I think. But from far away, this looks nice and detailed. So maybe that's all I need to know about flowers. Just make something up. No one's gonna look this close usually. I hope. Here I started a class 101 class, and it focused more on ink drawing and stuff. So these were some of the exercises that the instructor had people do towards the beginning. So it was like draw some lines and just practice drawing circles and ovals to fill it up and whatnot. Here, this was like just work on practicing drawing like a straight line from like point A to point B. So just go in any direction, but it's just to get your hand more comfortable drawing lines in different directions. So this was actually a really useful practice exercise for me, because generally it's more comfortable for me to draw lines like this way, or like I don't think I draw lines other than, so these directions are kind of comfortable, but like something like this is not a comfortable direction for me, or like if I was trying to go like this or something. So it was good to just practice doing that. Same with these. These were like make curves from point A to point B, or I guess A, B, and C. Yeah, more lines and curves on this side. And then this one was about how do you fit a circle in a plane. So it was just like general perspective practice, I guess. So yeah, this was helpful to just build upon later on when you're trying to fit, like let's say you're drawing like a roof or something. It might be shaped like this, and then maybe there's something like a design coming off of the roof. It's helpful to know like where the middle of that is, and like where the middle of like the sides would be. That way you can fit other shapes on it. Yeah, this was a lesson on hatching, so there's different methods of hatching you can use. Either just lines all the way across, or like different densities of smaller lines in different directions in different areas. And then because this was like an animal-based class, some of the textures were more fur-like or scale-like. And then, oh yeah, these shapes. She had us draw a lot of these shapes as like a good way to just build out forms. So this was actually a very helpful exercise. Instead of just drawing your usual like spheres and like cubes, you got these like blob gourd shapes. So the main reason I wanted to take that class was because I just wanted to get better at inking and like brush pen work in general, so I experimented a bit with it afterwards here. So I don't love how they turned out, but it did feel a little bit easier after taking this class. Oops. Okay, I think we're getting towards the end. So So yeah, after that so this was, yeah, December 2020. When was this class? I'm pretty sure I started this class like midway through 2020. And then yeah, did something in December, and then now we're in January. So this is when I just like entered Genshin brain rot, so here we have Zhongli. And somehow like drawing guys is clicking slightly more now, which is good. So this is, I don't remember, maybe a BTS boy, I'm not really sure. And here I was working on some just like thumbnail compositions for a painting that I wanted to do. I don't think I've actually done either of these paintings, so maybe they're just a standalone exercise. And this sticky note, it's not blocking anything. I think this is what I used as the bookmark, but I didn't need to bookmark after this, I guess. But this says like Gen, and then the next page it'll say like Ganyu, so it's like Ganyu from Genshin. Because I was working on an illustration with her, and I was trying to think of if I wanted to like stylize her name in calligraphy somehow, but I am not good at calligraphy, so I just ended up nixing that idea. I don't know who this character is. Somebody. Here we have more just random sketches. So in February, I think these are based off of Pinterest pictures, and then this one is Utena. And then I think the reason I was using these colors was there's one artist I follow on Instagram named Mako House, and at that point I think whatever illustration she had been doing, she was using a lot of colored pencil in her line work, so I wanted to give that a go. So I think she was using these colors, like a pink, a blue, a yellow, and like a teal color. So that's what I did for these. So these are more Utena drawings. I actually like how these ones turned out. They're pretty quick and stuff, but I think I got the proportions and like just general shape to look alright. The proportions are really long because her proportions are actually just super long in this anime. And then here we have a handful of Pinterest related drawings and then official. And that's it. We've reached the end of the tour. Thinking back, my dissatisfaction with this sketchbook is one reason I ended up buying the Stillman and Burn one back in 2019. I am the type of artist who jumps between sketchbooks, but honestly it's justifiable for me because I don't want to be stuck with a tool that's hindering my process. If I'm not enjoying working in a sketchbook, it means I won't draw as often, which means it's adding friction to my growth as an artist. The main lesson I learned from this experience is that cute sketchbooks designed by amazing artists might not always be the best choice for the media I want to practice with. Next time I want to buy a cute sketchbook, I need to make sure I'm using the correct medium in it rather than expecting it to perform well with every medium, then being disappointed when it doesn't. I do have 2 other cute sketchbooks that I started and have jumped ship from, but hopefully I'll challenge myself to go back and finish those using the correct tools before I consider buying any more. If you want to see a tour of a sketchbook I actually liked, check out this video here. I worked on that sketchbook around the same time as this one, and those drawings and paintings are much more interesting. I also post more spreads of my current sketchbook on my Instagram and Patreon, so feel free to check out the links in the description box for those. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.